Great evening. Welcome to Why Should I Be Ashamed? I'm Sheila Calvert. I am your host for tonight, and I'm the author of the book, Why Should I Be Ashamed? We're talking about deep rooted issues. I want you to please like and share, and come on back in a few minutes, and we're going to get right into this discussion. Thank you.
Give God the glory. Yeah, that's what I do. Give God the glory. He already knew my story. Look at me. Can't you see victory? Victory. No more shame in this game. No more shame. No more shame in this game. No more shame. No more shame. I'm not alone. 'Cause you're at home. You got a story of your own. Do 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 do. Why should I do 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 do? Why should I do 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 do? Why should I do do
Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you once again for your book purchasing. Thank you for your participation. And I know it takes a lot. It takes a lot to come in and address your issues, my issues tonight. And we are talking about deep rooted issues. How low do we need to go in order to recover, in order to heal, in order to be better people? And yes, we have to be prayerful when we're digging down deep because there are some not so beautiful things down there. There are some ugly things that we have allowed to get deep within us because of sexual abuse. Here we talk about all things sexual abuse, and that is where we are coming from. So we have been on this trail talking about deep rooted issues. And now that you have addressed your deep rooted issues, we're not being a victim. We're not talking about even the violators tonight. We're looking within. We're looking at what is now our problem. What are your problems tonight? What are the things that you have not resolved? How are you carrying your experience through life? How are you manifesting? What causes frustrations, irritations, anger? How are you managing? And those are the things that we have to look within, even though they were caused by this very bad experience. And we must realize that we can recover, and we have to give ourselves permission sometimes, permission to recover, permission to feel better, permission to get through our issues. Give yourself permission tonight, and then give yourself a hand praise and a clap for you. So now that we have addressed some of our deep rooted issues, how are you really feeling about you? How? Because we address the perpetrators, and we express our anger, we express our abandonment of things that happen, we express our lack of apologies from their sides. But what have you done for you lately? What have you done to work on you being better? Because some of these people has gone on with their lives. They're gone on. Some of them has passed over to the other side. Some of them are in prison for life. But in the meantime, in between it all, what are we doing about our situations? So I had you to address and really dig down to address your experience, and we got to look within. I used on last week the analogy of a root canal, which is a dental procedure and a dental term, a root canal. And I also use the root of a plant as just to give us a picture of what that a deep rooted issue look like and what it caused and how it can spread and grow and how it can infect in the dental term your whole mouth and abscess and when it comes to deep rooted issues with plant they can grow and what is it habitate or whatever and germinate and just grow and grow into all kind of plants and bulbs and so I just want you to picture that how sometimes we plant one thing but then we get a dandelion, you may plant a rose but then you get another weed. So and then as we try to unroot things, we don't want to destroy the roles, that we don't want to destroy ourselves. But you can do it. So in dentistry, I can tell you from my experience, which I share with you that I've had quite a few of them, because I was such a candy lover, trying to resolve my issues with candy and sweets and things that made you get that good serotonin and that good feeling. Um, and now that I'm not supposed to be eating a lot of sweets, I had to find another way to comfort even myself. But when you go to the dentist, we have to during I remember those procedures. I wouldn't just it wouldn't just happen one visit. I would have to revisit the dental dentist and revisit and revisit and revisit. Do you see where I'm going with this analogy? It don't always happen in an instance. It don't always happen right when you say, I'm going to forget about it. That's why I wanted you to look at some of the manifestations of when you have deep rooted issues, some of the problems, some of our actions, some of our responses to life in general, to it could be a little thing, some people have road rage. Some people is just silent, can drive and not be bothered with the other drivers. Just let them go on. But you got to know yourself, and you can't spend your whole life long believing that you can't recover and always mad at one experience that over and over and over again you have changed. Hopefully you have changed. You have grown into a better person. So we know that we have to go and we have to continue to um, untangle our issues, and we may have to revisit it several times with a clear head, with a clear mind, under no kind of influences, under no kind of addictions. We have to go revisit our issues, what has occurred and what has happened to us. Um, it's good to analyze your process, and we talked about our process using several ways. Um, Always therapy, always prayer, always asking God, always giving yourself permission to recover, giving yourself permission not to be a victim or to be victimized again. So, you know, there's so many avenues to get your healing, and which in the end is feeling better about you. It's celebrating yourself, celebrating your life, not staying down in the pits, but getting out of them day by day, hour by hour, book by book, one day at a time. With that being said, I want you to look at yourself over and over and over. And listen, every time we deal with a situation, we should not feel like, and we should not say to ourselves that, we should not say to ourselves that I don't want to face it. And that's what, when I look back at the experiences that I had, I can face it. I can say, okay, I'm in a different place. I am a different woman. I'm having new experiences. I have learned to choose friends. I have learned to be careful how I'm allow people to treat me, how I allow people in and out of my life, how I allow them, and I'm always determined to be kind to them at every hand, but not allowing some people to recycle. You know that term that I use when I talk about people recycle is, and you allow them. It's almost like, well, I didn't kill you enough. You know, when people from their life may experience some anxiety or frustration with them, and maybe some things happen in your relationship that wasn't intentional, just things you didn't address. There's been relationships in my life that I didn't address the issues. I just went on in life and I just resolved by leaving, and we're good at that. A lot of you are good at that. So now, what I hope and pray that what has happened as you're dealing with these issues, that you're learning that um, you are still valued. That it's like a peeling of an onion. You're uncovering your secrets. Why am I so mad? Because you're uncovering. Why am I so angry? Well, because you know you can't keep using the same techniques and the same methods if you're not getting anywhere and you keep getting the same results. You keep I often ask people, and I talk to people, how many times a day are you angry? I'm gonna ask these guys here. I just want to know how many times today, how many times a day? Yes, yes. Jerea said, especially raised in church. What did she talk about? Because I missed that. I was looking at you.
I'm not sure exactly what Miss Jurea meant when she said especially raised in church, but maybe she could clarify
Please,
a little
please,
bit,
yeah.
Miss Jurea.
Because
But
I,
you were asking me, what was the question you was asking me?
how many times a day are you angry? Have you been angry today? Let's use today for an illustration.
Well, not including the last 5 minutes here, due to some technical circumstances. Today, you know, it was a good day today.
It was a good
No
day.
one got on my nerve today. I was pretty much isolated from a lot of people, so today I was good. How about you, Broderick?
I was good today. Yeah, I was good today. Work was crazy, but I was good. So I can't say today I was not angry or anything like that.
Okay. Um, I know I probably was speaking, Jarrell, when you commented, but now I see that you said especially raised in church. What are we talking about here? Because I missed. I probably can catch it up later. But to identify and try to answer or just have a conversation with you, and thank you for watching. So these guys say they were not angry. I mean, you know, you have people get angry at the television. I say it's just a show. It's not real. People get angry and is it emotional on Facebook? I just can click off or move over. I refuse to be upset every day. Oh, she said you were saying how you hold on to things that could have something to do with how you allow people to treat you. Yes, we do. Thank you. Thank you. We do hold on. When we could have stopped some things, when we could have said no, when we could have, hey, we have to deal with people. And I see a lot of people today saying they're not coming outside, that everybody in the world is mean, and whatever. But you got to look within yourself. Yes, people are going through a whole lot today, but haven't they always? People have been mean in the Bible days, aren't they? But we know that everything is really heightened right now. But I want us to work on ourselves and find worth. Find worth. So I've given you some assignments on these past week to really dig deep within you to find out, what are you serving to others? What are you saying to others? What are you saying about others? Who are you trying to help? What is your purpose in life? Do you finish what you start? Do you end well? Do you leave the atmosphere charged with great energy, or charged with love, charged with peace, charged with kindness? I'm getting ahead of myself. So work within yourself, because it's really hard for me to get to anybody else's deep rooted issues. I'm telling you. And some of us in the married life, you must learn that you can change you. You're not going to change a man or woman. And my granddaughter was over here the other day, and I tell you, I think she's a 5 year old or something. She's only one, but she already knows so much. She understands so much. Yes, not mature, but she understands. And so let's get to the deep. You cannot manipulate, because you only can manipulate so long, and the real person or the real you is going to come out. So you cannot manipulate, be it your healing. If you're a forgiving person, it can't be manipulated. If you're a forgiving person, then you see the person, it'll show up some of those unresolved issues. So let's do the work. Let's resolve some things within us. Why is that so important tonight? Why is the assignment that I gave you so important for you to resolve within you? Because the truth of the matter, you can only control you. We only can teach and learn. We teach and learn. We teach our children. We learn. Hopefully, every day we learn. To get to the deep rooted, unresolved issues, we got to get to the hurt. We got to get to the fear of dealing with the issues. And we got to stop trying to control everything. And control is really just another process, spirit of fear. That's all control is. When we feel that we're not in control because we don't want to let it go, we don't want to let it go. And so we try to hold things, and that's not the answer. So we got to let go of the control, trust what is right. Trust what is right. So what happened when you began to dig? What actually happened when you began to dig? You began to get healing. You begin to see things clearly. Everything looks different when you begin to heal. For me, it did. Everything, even when I began to write this book and just really see myself, really experience the pain, just really acknowledge it, acknowledge. And as I went through some therapies and some deliverance ministries and things like that, and they began to share with me and pray with me as I went home, I began to see the layers. I began to see some of the places where I felt left or abandoned. And I had to deal with that, because even though I was abandoned, the abandonment was my issue. It no longer was the person that abandoned me. It was my issue. And that's what we got to learn, that if you are acting a certain way, if you are behaving a certain way, it's got something to do with you. Every time I show up, you begin to manifest. There's something with you. Okay, because the space belongs to us. This space, it belongs to God. I call North Carolina as God's country. It is not your space. Facebook belongs to people that want to join in. If you don't like it, get off of it. I don't get you. All this anger. But everything looks different when you begin to get your healing. Everything becomes clearer as blue water when you begin to feel better. When you begin to love yourself, it is easy to love others. We always tell women, I used to tell women in my group, if you don't like you, you're going to have a hard time watching me like me because I like me. Yes, I haven't always liked me, but today I do. I understand that I'm imperfect. I am a imperfected person, and so are you. But I'm good. I'm good with doing good when I do the right things. And sometimes doing the right thing, it might be removing myself from your process. Anyway, listen, you see things different. You can read a book different. You can go back and watch an old movie that looks different when your lines are clear. It could just be one thing that you have dealt with when we talked about deep-rooted issues. You can look for the good. That's a new thing. When you're in paranoid and you're angry and you're balled up and you're mad at everybody, you don't see any good. It's like you're blocked. But when you begin to get your healing and feeling better and eating better and being healthy, you can see the good in everyone, or you can see the good. And I began to look for good. I began to go to good places. I began to know that I'm worthy to have good things, things that I thought, oh, that's too expensive. I found that there's nothing too expensive. I may not have the money for it today, but it's not too expensive for me. I'll take one. Listen, when you find value and worth, a dollar sign, there is no amount that is too good for you. And let's start with that little bitty thing. There's nothing too good for you. Nothing too good for you. Good is good. Good is good. So listen, I start looking for the good in life. I start looking for good people. I start looking for the good in people. I told you all, even when I worked along with my husband in church, the women would tell you, I would charge them. I would go. I would always. I was a delegator. We have great women conference. I delegate, and sometimes they would say, Pastor, we want you to minister, but because I felt my opportunity was to give someone else the opportunity because I had so many. I always been in the forefront of ministry and forefront. But I would delegate them and I would always push the good in them. And when I seen their faults and flaws, I would pray about it, or sometimes we get in private sessions, privately in the office. We didn't preach it over the pulpit. We didn't talk about their clothes. We didn't talk about their hair. We didn't talk about those things if it was necessary. And you know it's deeper than the hair, clothes, and the outward. We didn't address that, but there was so much good. And sometimes when you find fault and issues, you know why, because it reminds you of your old self. Oh, yes, honey. When I would see one that remind me of me, oh, I knew where to go. I knew where that issue was. And that's what we need to remember. You ever know sometimes when you just can't get with a person, you're like, you're really like magnets, but it's like you can't get together. Now, some people you just can't get with it because they won't accept you for you. And listen, we're not going to create something just for you to accept us. But sometimes it's because you see something in them that reminds you of yourself and you say, oh, I've grown past that. I've moved on. And we got to keep moving on. So listen, I want you, hopefully, what you've been getting out of finding your deep-rooted issues, you begin to find that, and you're looking for the good, there should be an expression of love. You know where that deep-rooted hate was? Once you start digging that hate out, the expression and the opposite should be love. Just love. You should begin to experience kindness. You know, when I talk about the dentistry, the pain goes away. I still have whatever cap or whatever, but the pain is gone. Yeah, the residue will always be there, but the pain is gone. So now I can be kind. I don't have to be bitter and take all of my issues out on everybody. You know those people that got some real rooted issues. Every time they look on Facebook and they see somebody else talking, ain't even talking to them. They are, oh, you talking about me. They always get a, you're through on off. No, 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 ain't nobody throwing off. You got some problems that you don't want to deal with. But kindness, you ever just, I just remember that day just becoming just really kind and letting go and not always, I can see people that we used to be in ministry with and still love them because I can remember the good part. Sometime I maybe there was a ripping as we departed, but we have to move on. And you ain't seen them. And I seen some people a couple weeks ago. Hadn't seen them in a year or two, 2 years. Now, do I suppose to come in and be mad? No, we just was kind and respectful. We had a good time. We danced. We laughed at the young ladies. We made her wedding purposeful because it was a wonderful purpose to be there. You don't go in and hold on something from 10 years ago. I get you, Jarrell. I get you. You still holding on 50 years ago. The person don't even remember you. Some people I don't even remember. When I come home, they be like, Sheila used to do my hair. I'd be like, oh, okay. I don't remember. And you holding stuff. You holding stuff from 50 years ago, girl. Mm-mm. You should, while you're digging for the root, you know what? Where all that conflict and noise was in your head, you should find some peace now. That's how you're going to know that you're getting to the root, that you can have peace. You can address your issues. You can talk about these things. I can talk about sexual abuse and have peace. Even if I get a trigger here and there, because I can't say that there's something on trigger, but I know how to move in peace. Okay, Sheila, that's not today. That happened a long time ago. Let it go. And you learn how to deal with conflict. And every day, I don't think you should be in conflict. Every day, you shouldn't be mad about something because that shows you don't have an attitude of gratitude or being thankful just being woke up this morning, being thankful that you get to go to work, you get to drive your car, you get to have a roof over your head, you get to have your family, you get to eat what you want to eat, you get to. What a privilege. Another thing, instead of being impatient, dig up that root and find out why are you so impatient and you get to the why. You dig it up and become long suffering. Sometimes I know my daughter, she says, Mama, you just go through too long. You deal with people too long. Issues happen too long. You deal with. But God has created me. He has given me some kind of amazing strength to be long suffering. So you can have a foundation. If you quit every time something goes wrong, you won't stay on a job. You won't stay married. You won't have no friends. You have to be bothered. You have to be bothered. Another thing, goodness. You should want to do good. And I know sometimes some of you say, well, it's not fair. I'm going to be bad because the world has been bad to me. I'm going to be bad because the world owed me something. I used to feel that way when I was a teenager. I thought the world owed me something because I felt like that I had been duped. Where did I get these people from in my life? Everybody's on drugs. Everybody's doing this, doing that, where there's no godliness. When I was in Detroit, it was a little bit different. And now even some of them that I came along the way with, some of them have changed their life. They're different people now. They're serving the Lord and they're working on being better. And isn't that what we want to do here? So find a way to be goodness. Have meekness instead of rudeness and always ready to say response to somebody nasty. If you got a nasty response, just now sometimes everybody is not just gonna let you just ride over them all the time. Now I'm not saying that. No, there's sometimes that you have to address issues. Yeah, we're soldiers too. Now we just because I know sometimes people feel, oh, they go to church, or oh, they're trying to be, then they want to walk over. No, I'm not saying be a rug or a doormat for anybody, but let's have meekness. Let's have temperance. And in the end, I'm telling you, it's a better feeling. I'd rather be a kind person than be bitter. I'd rather be a loving person than be full of hate. Have you ever heard a person say, I hate somebody? Oh my God, I just cringed. I heard somebody wasn't too long ago. They said, I hate so and so. That word cuts like, just like my mother used to say, you can't say you a lie. Oh, that it seemed like it just cuts with a knife. I don't know. Maybe you all don't feel it, but when you ever heard, have you ever seen somebody's face that was just bitter, and the face began to, what is that word I'm looking for? Um, transform, transform almost into deform, and almost stuck like that. That's what these things, these ungodly roots do. They reshape you into something that you shouldn't be. So don't let anybody take what you have worked on. Don't let anyone take from you after you have went and done the work. You may have to find new circles, new people, but you can do it. So I want you to continue to dig and do the work. Read my book. Have temperance. Temperance. Tolerate. I wouldn't have any friends if they didn't tolerate me, which I'm a pretty easy going person. Most of them are always trying to shift me, and I have to tell them I'm not little Sheila. But I allow them to be them, and I just sometimes I just look at just certain things. What we're not gonna do, we're not gonna just sit up and gossip all night about nothing. We got our own situation. But I love my friends, but I tolerate them because I have temperance. They tolerate me. They have temperance because even on my worst day, I am not trying to bring anyone down in the pit with me. I'm looking for those that are happy, those that are up. So listen, overcome evil with good. Be kind. Work on you. For the next 7 days till we meet again, will you do me a favor? Will you work on you? Will you stand up for what is right? Also, do me a favor. Will you please go to Google, look at Why Should I Be Ashamed? And on the red book, because they still have that other copy up there, on the red book, would you give a review? Give a review of the book. And if you have not got the book, just go to Messenger, hit me in the back, and we'll get you a book. I'll mail it out to you. I'll send you my cash app. Because listen, it is important every day that you get out of your pain so you can get into your purpose. I had to get out of my pain. Can you see me up here, sitting up here, telling these stories and just be full of grudges, being mad, being mean, and people that had even in my childhood, like I told you, one of my uncles, they my love family, came and they loved on me. He was just like, Sheila, I just called to say I love you. They call me Sheila. Called to say I love you, and that's important. That's important. We got to get out of all this rage, and so I'm doing the work. It's a continue process. It may take more than one visit, and some of you, I know you don't want to address it, but listen, do it privately. I have a young lady, me and her have been chatting it up. She said, Sheila, I feel better. And I discuss her. I don't talk about your husband. You got to go to marriage counselor to talk about your husband. But I can address you. But listen, thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming on here every week. Please let someone know, because there's someone around you that is dealing with sexual abuse. please let them know what we do here on Tuesday night. And if you can't watch on Tuesday, go to my YouTube channel. They're downloading them every week and to see what's happening there and use it. Do what you need to do so you can have love, peace, kindness, joy, meekness, long suffering, temperance, tolerance. And I tell people, oh, I don't argue. No, I don't want to fuss. No, that's what we're not going to do because it kind of reshapes me, and I don't want to be reshaped like that. No, the only want to reshape and I want to do is some exercise and not eating so many sweets. So until we meet again, I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. I feel good. Oh, I don't know. It's something good about talking about good stuff. I feel good giving that good stuff out. Thank you for watching, Jarrell. She says some good things on her page too, so check her out. Check her out. Yes. Positive. Positive. It's a flow. It's a flow. I receive it. I receive it. And I'm talking to myself tonight. That's why, the word comes to you first. I feel good.